Hi, this is Bob Son.
This is Bob Dad for Bob's Movie Reviews.
And today we're bringing you a review of a movie we watched recently on Netflix instant streaming called VHS 2. And if you missed it, I did a review of VHS 1. The link will be on an annotation on the screen and below in the description. So, do you want to start out or should I start out?
You go ahead and start out.
Okay, so basically, if you didn't see VHS 1, similar format in this one, where there's 4 stories. I can't remember if there were 4 stories in the first one. There's different writers, different directors, different actors. Basically 4 short stories, all held together loosely by a plot that I don't know that anybody can understand. But this guy basically is a private eye. He's hired to come check on someone's son because they haven't heard from him in a few days or a week and they can't get a hold of him. And what didn't make any sense to me is he just breaks in the house. He doesn't even try knocking on the door. He's just like, whatever, crowbars open the window, goes in, and they find all these VHS tapes. So, you know, they end up watching the VHS tapes, and each VHS tape they watch is another short story in the film.
Yeah, I found it hard to follow. I couldn't really understand, what was going on with watching the VHS tapes. The private eye had a assistant. It was a woman.
Or a girlfriend, or whatever.
Yeah, she was his assistant too. She was the one who was watching the videos. He was off in another room. I don't really know what he was doing in the other room. Because
he was looking at the journals.
Because he was gone for a long time. But each time he came back in the room, this was after one of the videos had played. There'd be something wrong with her.
Yeah, like she was getting worse.
Yeah, she'd be bleeding from the nose and
having a headache.
Yeah, well, that part...
None of that was at all established in the first one.
I don't know what it was about. You want to go to the first one?
I don't want to talk about the first one.
Why is that?
Because it was so bad.
Well, the first one, somehow this guy had gotten in an automobile accident and lost an eye. So this...
Oh, you mean the first... Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the first movie.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the first... The first show in it.
The first mini story. Just don't give away everything.
Okay. Well, I doesn't.
Okay.
But they have to know the premise of why. And so he gets a replacement eye that's like a digital eye with a recording device that the company can look at to see everything he's seen. So I don't understand that. How are they going to do it? Are they going to plug a cord in his head or what? Take his eye out? But anyhow... That's what it is. He has an electronic eye that looks freaky. It don't look like a real eye. It looks like a circuit board or something. And he starts seeing things, ghosts and stuff, because he has that eye. And then he runs into this girl that she had an accident, so she has an electronic ear. So she hears the ghost, and he sees the ghost. And that was pretty good until... she's at this guy's house, and her uncle shows up, and she goes, I know how to get rid of him, and she starts taking off her clothes. And I'm there, well, maybe her uncle doesn't want to see her naked, but then they start doing it, and then he's gone. So I guess the only way to get rid of the ghost is you have sex with him, or somebody. I don't know. That was pretty freaky.
It didn't make a whole lot of sense.
It didn't make any sense.
It was a nice little story. It was cool. Everything was from his eyeball. The one thing they did really well is they always had a reason for a camera. There was never just like, oh, somebody filming. They would be like, oh, there's this camera here, so now we'll switch to that one. Or there's that one there. There was always a camera. It was never like just like a camera guy. There would be a camera there for them to get the footage from.
Yeah, it's his eye. Everything that he looked at and saw was being recorded on that implant. So when he went to the doctor's office, they could download it to see what he's seen. I guess I don't understand that, why they wanted to see it. But once they got to that, it kind of lost me a little bit because I'm there, well, that don't make sense. And near the end there, when he got tired of seeing ghosts, he decides that he wants to do something about it. So me, I was thinking, okay, just put a patch over your eye so that eye can't see. But he goes to a little drastic extreme, so I'm not going to tell you what he does. But that was my take on that, the first one.
Okay, so I don't think we should give away the story on the other 3. Let's just basically say there's zombies, there's ghosts, there's crazy people, and there's aliens in this movie. So everyone's a different story. I thought they were all pretty well done, although aliens and zombies were the ones that I really liked. And then again, there's this whole stupid thing going on to try to hold them together. Basically, the best way to go into this movie is 4 short stories, and then forget the story they have that brings them all together.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense why they're even there. I don't see the point in that. As far as the zombie one, it had me good till one part in it, and then I said, "Oh, you lost me here." But
you can only be happy with the George Romero zombie, and that's it.
Well, a good zombie, yeah. I'm kind of burnt out on these bad zombies. If you want a bad zombie movie, then we'll make it.
Okay, so anyways, I like this one a lot more than the first one. I thought it was much more clear what was going on. They had better themes in the short stories. Instead of you couldn't figure out in the first one what the heck the stories were even about. You couldn't figure out what the main movie was about. I was just totally lost and confused. I didn't think anything in the first one made sense. So for me, I enjoyed this one a lot more. I think this one's worth giving a watch. It's nothing fantastic, nothing great. I mean, because they're so short, 10, 15 minutes each, you really don't get into much of a story.
Right. Yeah, I would have liked it better if they would have done away with the detective part, the private eye part in the beginning. If they would have just billed it as 4 short stories, I think.
It was almost more like Creep Show, where it's just the guy's here's the next story.
Yeah, I think that would have been better.
Yeah. Okay, so let's give this one a score. I actually do 10 now, just because that's more common. So I'm going to give this right in the middle, 5 out of 10. It's worth a watch, but don't be expecting anything great.
Yeah, I'm more of the cynical critic here, so I'm going to give it about a 3.
Alright, so thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and be looking for more reviews from Bob Son
and Bob Dad.